Calling out behaviors instead of individuals can help to keep the conversation focused on accountability instead of drawing ire from personal attacks. Hey Survivor, welcome to episode 117 of the Vibrant Survivor podcast. In this episode, I'm sharing some strategies for speaking up, holding leaders accountable, and using your voice effectively without succumbing to fear, guilt, or exhaustion. But first, let's self-regulate with a 4-4-8 breathing exercise, if you'd like. And I invite you to get grounded in your seat, maybe shift a little bit, plant your feet firmly on the floor, with or without shoes if that's available to you. And we'll inhale for 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 8. Ready? Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How does it feel to take care of yourself? Grab your notebook and pen, and let's dig in. Hey Survivor, welcome to the Vibrant Survivor podcast. Do you want to disconnect from a narcissistic or toxic situation and heal? Are you Googling how to identify a narcissist, narcissistic abuse, and boundaries? Are you feeling stressed and lonely while trying to avoid being sucked back in and lied to again? Hey, I'm Lesley. As a busy wife and mom, I fell for the lies and manipulations of narcissists. I wasted my time, talents, and money on users who kept moving the goalposts. I wanted real relationships and business opportunities and to enjoy life with my family. Instead, I struggled with anxiety, panic attacks, and insomnia, and I couldn't trust my body or anybody until I took a holistic approach to healing. In this podcast, you'll find tips for healthy living, trauma healing, and boundaries so that you'll have the freedom, confidence, and inner peace to respond, not react, after narcissistic abuse. Take a deep breath in, let it out slowly, and just relax. This time's for you. This week, I gave a speech at the State Board of Education meeting in support of a very brave girl who was one of many victims of teacher misconduct at school, which I mentioned in a previous episode. I also went to advocate for disciplinary action for the school district administrators who failed her and her family and other victims, and to help create change. And as expected, through this process, the district administrators are in survival mode, deploying tactics to protect their image, paychecks, positions, and power. And as a result, there have been attempts to minimize and rug sweep these serious offenses and others. And victims have been given the runaround, blamed, shamed, and even alienated for coming forward and speaking their truth, which is re-traumatizing for them and their families. And side note, regarding toxic positivity, a lot of people at the previous school district meeting were like, oh, there's so much negativity and there's so many positive things happening and we need to focus on that, and I'm ready to quit the profession and I'm leaving, and I can't take the negativity. And while teacher misconduct doesn't happen all the time, it does happen, and we can't deny that or ignore that. And I don't know about your school district, Survivor, but it seems like when it does happen, it's bad. And not only that, the way that it's handled is bad. And that's not okay. Speaking up about injustices like this and going against a system that has thrived for a long time on bullying, intimidation, and silencing is scary. And it can be really frustrating, it can feel uncomfortable, and it can be exhausting. But it can be done. And this brave girl stood on business and spoke her truth before the state board members and gave each of her supporters who spoke after her, including myself, the perfect setup to deliver and drive home powerful messages individually and collectively. Here are 5 strategies to challenge toxic leadership without burning out. Number 1, leverage strength in numbers. Toxic leaders thrive on isolating people who go against the grain or who challenge their leadership. But collective voices can help to create an undeniable pressure. We won't be ignored. So here's some ways to do this. You can connect with other people who see the same issue, the same behavior pattern as you do, and create a unified front. You can organize group statements, petitions, or if it applies, you can coordinate public comments. You can also involve media. You can pull in some advocacy groups, or you can petition an oversight board to amplify your voice. So this happened this week at the board meeting where I stood in solidarity with other community members in support of this victim and her family, and it helped to make my advocacy efforts, as well as everyone else's, that much stronger. Without even doing a whole lot of coordinating and exchanging of notes and comparison and all of that, our remarks all flowed beautifully from the victim's impact statement on down the line. Couldn't have planned it any better. Number 2, speak without names, focus on patterns. Calling out behaviors instead of individuals can help to keep the conversation focused on accountability instead of drawing ire from personal attacks. So here's how. Using language like, this leadership has a pattern of fill in the blanks. You can also present specific examples of patterns of behavior without naming names. You can also ask system-focused questions and kind of keep it broad-brushed, like, how will this change going forward? Or what will you do going forward? And this is exactly how I framed my speech, to focus on systemic failure rather than specific individuals. It actually helped with my confidence and comfort in making the statements that I did, because I wasn't personally attacking anybody and was really painting a picture that went beyond the individuals who are facing disciplinary action. Number 3, use your expertise to address tough topics. Facts disarm manipulation, and sticking to your area of expertise makes it harder for toxic leaders to dismiss you. And here's how. Keep your emotions in check and lead with knowledge. Facts over feelings. Offer constructive solutions alongside your concerns. A lot of times when you are petitioning a governing body or you're addressing problems, it's so hard for people to sit and listen to just getting hammered on problems. They want solutions, they need to hear solutions, and solutions can help them to hear you. And then framing your comments in terms of long-term impact on the community and really painting a picture of how the continued behavioral pattern can be detrimental to the community. That's another way to capture attention and to motivate people to get involved, to implement change, to take a look at the policies and the way that things are being done, or to take a look at the leadership and whether or not they need to be in leadership. This is what I did in my speech this week. I used my trauma-informed education and expertise and experience to highlight the harm caused by negligence. And I even quoted some facts from the CDC, punctuating my points. The board was paying attention. And I even talked to some people afterwards that were like, I really appreciated your remarks and really want to connect with you and talk more about resources even, because I made sure to mention, hey, I've got resources if you'd like. And even in that, I made a trauma-informed statement that they could hear. I wasn't saying, you need to do this and you better do this or I'm going to be back and blah, blah, blah. No. I have resources if you'd like. The response was really positive. Number 4, have a backup plan if you can't speak up. Advocacy is emotionally taxing. And there are some days, some moments when you might not be up for the task. And having a plan for that can help to ensure that your message is still heard, even if you're not feeling up to delivering it. And here's how. You can write your statement in advance if it's a victim impact statement, for example, and have a trusted friend or family member or other supporter read it for you. You can also submit a written testimony instead of speaking in person. If there's a way for you, say, for example, if you're going to speak in front of a board like I did this week, and you want to submit your remarks, sometimes there's an email address or a contact person who can receive those things and make sure that it's read at the meeting, even if you're not up to it or able to. You don't even have to make a big deal about that. You can just submit it. You don't have to reveal that, you're feeling some kind of way, or that you're anxious or nervous, or that you're afraid, or you're just feeling too emotional, or you're tired because you were thinking about it all night, or agonizing over getting up in front of a board and saying something. So there's so many different ways to approach this. You can also support others who may be raising their voices from behind the scenes by doing research. You can do networking or organizing or coordinating, or just even showing up and occupying a seat at the meeting for support. And this is what I saw happening in this meeting this week, where different people had different roles. The victim and had the support of her parents while she was delivering her remarks. And her parents, as it turns out, were prepared to read her remarks for her if she wasn't feeling up to it, even if she decided at the last minute. But they checked in with her and she was good, and so she delivered her own remarks. But they stood beside her while she did it. And it was beautiful to watch. And she did such a great job. And there was a family member who came to support as well, but did not deliver remarks. And it was much appreciated. One of the advocates who wanted to deliver remarks wasn't able to attend in person and found out at the last minute and had to speak virtually. It worked out wonderfully. And their remarks complemented what this young victim had shared during her victim impact statement, and it all came together. It's very possible to advocate in different ways. Just have a backup plan. Number 5, build a self-care plan for resilience. This is so key. Speaking up should not mean sacrificing your health and well-being. Taking care of yourself will help you to advocate without the burnout. Here's some key areas to focus on. One is lifestyle. So things like social connections, maybe spending time with trusted friends who lift you up, resting and reflecting, making time for sleep, having some quiet time to meditate or journal or take advantage of some creative outlets can really help as part of your self-care plan. Exercise, prioritizing moving your body, even if it's just for 20 minutes a day. It could be a walk, stretching, yoga, dance, boxing, whatever lights you up. And then mindset. This could include things like reframing your advocacy. It can be frustrating. It can seem like a long process or like nothing's happening or nothing's changing. But reframing it like this is a marathon, not a sprint. Doing things like that, writing affirmations. My voice matters. I am a light. I am a voice for the voiceless. Reframing your advocacy and affirming your advocacy can make a world of difference in how you show up. And this is exactly what happened this week, where, for example, I took the opportunity to listen to a guided meditation, even on the way to the meeting. I also had a green smoothie with me that I was able to sip on my way to the meeting to provide nourishment to my body so that I would be up for the task. I also got the opportunity to have a conversation with a friend prior to the meeting, and that was very uplifting, encouraging. We were encouraging one another, and I was able to stop at my favorite cafe, and that was encouraging to be able to see them and grab a drink and even a little pastry. And then connecting with the victim and her family prior to the meeting starting. We all sat together, added to the strength of our group and the power of our message. And then afterwards, just having conversations in the hallway, networking with other people, talking about the things that went well and recapping the meeting and talking about next steps, really encouraging and building up this brave young girl. And she had her friend with her who was supporting her, and they made plans to go out together and do something fun together after the meeting. That was really cool to see. That being said, advocating for change doesn't mean sacrificing your peace. And with the right support, a great strategy, and a self-care plan, you can stand up to toxic leadership while standing strong in your own power. Remember, when leaders are toxic, but you are wise, regulate, rise, and thrive. Thanks for tuning in, Survivor. Your voice matters. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey, Survivor! Are you tired of feeling exhausted, stressed, lonely, and stuck in narcissistic relationships, and you just want closure and healing? I spent years rationalizing toxic relationships and dysfunctional environments in the name of community, connection, and career. As a result, I wasted my time, talents, and money on users who kept moving the goalposts. One of the worst was an alleged murderer who discarded me after I caught him lying, stopped helping him for free, and held my boundaries. Even though I dodged a bullet, I felt depressed, ashamed, and I doubted myself. I want you to know that you don't have to suffer in silence, feel alone, or crazy anymore. Come and experience the power of creating your own closure without the permission or participation of the narcissist. I've been no contact for over 4 years now, and I've grown personally and professionally. I have more clarity, stronger boundaries. I'm building a life and business that I've always wanted and enjoying real relationships. I know you want to break patterns of getting into toxic relationships, even if you don't mean to. And it feels so good to disconnect from dysfunction, set and hold boundaries, provide closure for myself, and focus on self-care, and to empower my kids to do the same. Go to closurecoachingsession.com right now and get ready to heal after narcissistic abuse. If this podcast has helped you understand who and what you're dealing with, sharpen your discernment, and move forward on your healing journey, share it with another survivor. Help me help others by leaving a review for the show. And let's connect on social. Take a screenshot, share it in your IG stories, find and tag me at The Vibrant Survivor, and I'll share your post too. I look forward to connecting with you on IG and seeing you back here. You're not alone and you're not crazy. Know who you're dealing with, know who you are. Take care, and I'll meet you back here next week. Bye-bye.